Every dystopia has a story about how the world fell apart, and this is the degenerations. In 1960, Pluto and Uranus went into conjunction, causing social unrest and evolution like the modern world had never seen. This aspect found its expression in anti-Vietnam protests, the civil rights movement, free speech movement, feminism, the moon landing, gay liberation, environmentalism, psychoactive drug use, and perhaps most importantly, the sexual revolution. Art, media, and music all benefited from the evolution of the social consciousness. In 1996, the planets moved into a harmonious sextile, 60 degrees apart. And that time represented a period when the concepts initiated and fought for in the 1960s were integrated more openly and peacefully into society. But as this long cycle continues, so does the conflict between opposing social forces, liberals and conservatives, fascism and true democracy. In 2011, Pluto and Uranus began again to create unrest when the planets moved into the square that would happen 7 times over the next 4 years. The last time these planets squared off, the Nazis took over Germany. This time, the unrest began in the Middle East with revolutions and violence that threatened another world war. The economy of the world began to fracture. Corporate interests worked to privatize seeds, water, and health. The United States government reflected the energy of the planetary square by being deadlocked, and, as always, the people suffered. In the late 2020s, the square resolved into the trine, considered one of the most auspicious aspects in astrology, and the world was ready for better times. With Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, the world entered a new age of reason with scientific advancements like none seen before. Computers became a seamless part of people's bodies and social network. Robots were taught how to teach themselves. Advanced energy technologies began to slip through the grip of the oil industrial complex. Biotechnology offered brand new body parts, same-sex conception, and the regeneration of mitochondrial DNA, offering a chance of eternal life. In other words, a world of debate for the superstitious. The free marriage movement found a successful foothold in the Congress. With the planetary trine greasing the gear of economic prosperity, huge corporations rose out of the ashes of the 2010s, and the stock market witnessed its greatest rise in history. The world governments made large strides in working together towards ending hunger in a sustainable way. For a moment, the world tasted a golden age of wealth and productivity. But to every rise there is a fall, and you could say that the higher the tower is built, the more potential it has to collapse. Though the people benefited from the success of the corporations they worked for, and the power of the corporation is the seed of fascism. And when a thing starts to die, it becomes desperate and needy. Its principles wither and break. It clings to life in fear, seeking ever more power over its fate. Before Pluto and Uranus fully reached opposition and locked horns in 2045, the mediocre environmental compromises and continued use of the Earth's carbon resources finally made themselves felt when the high level of atmospheric energy and the more slowly changing Earth temperature sought equilibrium in the Earth's crust. Huge coastal regions were devastated by earthquakes and tsunamis. Volcanoes erupted from the fissures, spilling enough ash into the atmosphere to plunge the Earth into a 3-year cooling period. What followed made any previous genocide look like summer camp. The food resources of the planet exhausted themselves in less than a year. As workers weakened and sickened with no hope in sight, the world economy shut down and disease began to spread to every corner of the globe. 1/10 of the population remained when the skies were clear again. In the wake of disaster, China was the quickest to recover. The year was 2044, and China invaded America, deciding that if America couldn't get off its ass and pay its debts, then they would put Americans back to work themselves. At this time, the world's oil resources were officially depleted. The Chinese war effort ran out of resources to continue. America remained broken apart, with the Chinese owning everything from the Rockies to the Pacific. The US government still in control of a shaky 36 states that were threatening to split in 2, with one state already gone rogue, the Vermont Republic. It is in the fallout of these times that our story begins in 2056, during the degeneration.